My brother, can you believe I don't have a grant at disability to this day? Because I don't believe I am worth the grant. I have, and not to say that I'm putting it down. No. Ke na le
But you can
bokgoni.
rise above it.
Ke na le
You
bokgoni.
can
I
rise
want
above it.
bokgoni, psychologically, psychologically, emotionally, maybe more. I mean, we are a work in progress. You know, as yeah, we are all a work in progress. Wa bona ntho jwale, and re berekela eng? Re berekela lapa morena, lapa la berekelwa. E tuna le setjezelwa tshilo sa beno. Wa bona ntho jwale. And go bontsha go ruta ngwana how to combat the times. It's look, e re ngwana bua sekgowa, mara ska lebala gore sekgowa se ke sa bo mang. A tlhaloganya. A ska e lebala eo.
Asibue.
A se bue.
Angakhohlwa
A ska
ukuthi
lebala gore ke
akuyona
sa bo
yethu
mang.
le.
A se bo yeah, a ska e lebala ganta. Ka bona ke yone e tsagalang gagolo wa bona. Poni se itibale maru a gompieno ga ithate. Not gore a ipone, no, ga ithate. I tlhaloganya. I mean, ke tsolo pele re batla tsolo pele vele mo phelong wa bona. Go ranga tlhola re ngwana ka tsama lo batla bophelo. You know, and ngasuka ngahamba vele nga Eastern Cape, my brother. Went to the Eastern Cape, went to Rhodes, Pagat, Benegant. But I'd come to that point where I actually wanted to understand the choice that one made. And Khanti, I already knew the choice I made. I went to go get trained on the words to be
And the
articulate
understanding the
and the
choice.
understanding of that choice. I already knew the choice I made. However, how to articulate this, how to articulate myself.
I think what you're saying is very, 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 very crucial and vital. Ukuthi everybody knows what choice to make.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a theme. It's a theme I've been busy with this whole week with my students. Lapekaya, choice.
Yes.
Everybody knows what choice they have to make. It's the fear of making that choice,
That leap.
that leap. It's the fear of the leap, and that leap comes from a not knowing.
The unknown. If anything, it's the fear of the unknown.
It's that not knowing.
Bona, my mother says that when you are, my mother says, hey, now, so we sheba ga 10 ga 3 poeme 1.
Okay.
Poeme 1. Yeah, before ke nako stage we ya go putuluga mona ya go roundisa ya go isa kwa leko wa bona. Nako na le 20 you were just kwa batla wa bona ntho jwalo without, and when I think about it, like what's that Steve was how old? Steve Biko was young.
He was 33.
Was
when he passed.
young when he actually our formidable years are in our 20s. Right? Especially
I was about to ask you that question. Yes, you've been writing since 41 now. And you've been writing. I know I've been writing since, you know, probably as long as that. If now you were asked to recite a poem that is close to your heart, but a poem that speaks to you, what age group would you pull that poem from?
You see, the one I was doing earlier on,
Yeah.
was from my 20s, right? So many of the poems are from my 20s. I came to a standstill at some point, sort of an existential crisis, if you want, if you may, right? To art life is no easy life, my brother, to be honest with you. Especially in South Africa, especially in this place we call South Africa, you know? Art life is no easy life, King Man. I mean, no expect pente. I can't expect my child to eat words.
Yeah.
You know, and when the word is here, the word is here.
It's heavy.
There is nothing I can do
loud.
to get it out of me.
Yeah.
Right. And these moments do happen. Now, when you have a family in the arts, when you have a family as an artist or, you know, as a cultural practitioner, right, it becomes a little bit difficult because in this country, we do not take I mean, artists text, and yet the artists are text, and yet they have no retirement annuity, and yet they have no salary aging. So for you to buy a house, for instance, once you get contant cash,
Yeah.
who come passive,
Yeah.
1.2 million now, check. I mean, wait,
Utayithatha.
board. And like it I'm gonna buy it. I'm go buy it. Give a feel like it's swag, who fat, ashi. And I be like, Zwagalang, but irregular man to that again. Just feel like it's possible. The possibilities are endless, are infinite.
The possibilities are endless.
Endless.
They are infinite. And all it takes is for us to apply
Self-determination. Self-determination, to be determined and to be aligned with your thought, where you're thinking, you're breathing, you're intentional. And why I mean, Mandoza, I mean, yo, man, look,
No,
think
thing is,
about it.
The government must provide.
Brother, government providing. They provided tools, necessities.
Everything.
We have to work with each other. We have to walk with each other. Governance, right?
So the responsibility is a collective effort
Ultimately.
towards, well, before we get to towards, that collective effort has to stem from a self-realization.
And self-realization.
Self-determination.
Self-determination, right? Kutlwano, right? Understanding. First, you must have an impasse. First, there must be some kind of a reason why we're actually having to come to the point of meeting at the table, ultimately. So we have to be introspective. We have to be understanding and introspective more than anything else, because without understanding, we are a forest on fire, my brother. And that's exactly what we have been. Since 94, we have been expected to outrun hunting dogs while limping. We are nothing but rabbits, limping rabbits, outrunning hunting dogs, to such an extent that we are expecting this, expecting that, wanting this, wanting that. 30 years is not enough, man. 30 years is too little. Forget about it. We can't compare ourselves to Def Malan, right? When they actually got the first GNU, when they took out Jan Smuts, right? You can't compare that with that shit, man. There's more black people than there are white people. There are more black people than there are white people. And I'm not saying take your guns and take them out. No, I'm not. I'm saying take Buthu Bakhaho and put it on the table. Buthu supremacy to a large extent.
Take Buthu Bakhaho
and put it on the table.
Put it on the table. And because now, thing is, in our circles of black, woke, liberated, African units, the books that we have on our tables are books that remind us of our losses, are books that remind us of our defeats.
And also about our future.
Exactly. Well. On the table right now, we are not discussing how. We are not discussing when. And we are not discussing what. We are discussing past and a possible future.
The possibilities thereof.
You understand?
Ultimately.
Now, there is no future without the present.
The possibilities thereof based on what is and what was. How can we get to this? I was saying earlier on, that Steve was saying that in as much as black people have learned how to live in a white supremacist apartheid-run country, they also have to learn how to live in a free South Africa, right? And when that happens, there shall be no black people, no white people. There shall only be people. Now, when you understand the psychology of the this white phenomenon, this thing here, this thing here, this thing here, is superior than you. And they do it without even
Thinking
realizing it.
Yeah.
Wa e tlhaloganya?
twice.
Bona Helen Zila Chaman, bona, shukiyo bon khono. We put the khoning. Let her fucking go tend to a goddamn grandkids. Wa e tlhaloganya? I mean, bona, the whole parliament is filled with old folks, man. Wa e bona ntho e jwalo? COVID came and gone. It was meant for them, I suppose. Because it's the only disease, it's the only thing that kills old people. What kind of fucking bullshit is that, really? Go tswa gona gore go tletse ko Europe.
Yeah.
Gantla go tletse ko Europe. Ba batla batho bana ba bone. And there is a thing ya gore magwa ba sa kgona go reproduce gagolo. Wa e tlhaloganya? They're giving black folk space, chances. What Germany, you know, I mean, these things are happening, right?
They're happening everywhere.
Now, the white South African, you see this thing of white South African, black South African, impora gampe, wa e tlhaloganya? Because there's a certain sense of king, like what's you feel like what's a go dula o kopa like a ngwana o dula o kopa gantle so le motho o mogolo tjo. You're a grown-ass man. As the Bible would have you, you've thrown away all childish acts, right? And yet you are still boy. You are still having to come and ask. And the government, unfortunately, our parliament, our black government, right? Unfortunately, coming from the colonial mentality, the colonial framework, the colonial thinking,
That struggle thing.
right?
Yeah.
In which universe do you think, Wena, you'll be different from Ghana? You'll be different from Nigeria. You'll be different from all the other countries on this continent that were colonized.
That went through the same thing.
That went through the same thing 10
So now,
years after.
Basically, what we have is independent
Dependency.
PT parties.
Dependency.
Yeah.
Dependency
We have-
syndrome.
yeah, exactly. Because now, yes, we are liberated. Yes, we are free, but we are still expecting.
Are we
from-
liberated though, my brother? Are we liberated? Because look at the structures. You know, coming here makes my mind go gaga because I kind of feel like I'm in Europe. I feel like I'm in Amsterdam. You know?
There are sections in
Weed lovers market makes me feel like that during the
Oh,
day.
Majutala.
Ouchi. Ke majuta kaofela, of course.
Chronicle House.
And I'm little Julia Mtomonzo phela, wa bona?
Banning.
Ba bangata vele.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't mean that the color of my skin should be my sin. Forget about it. Say what? Why? And yet, South Africa, we are made to feel unsafe, unsecure. We are made to feel so. I mean, hey, Mra, yeah,
We are made to feel less than what we are. But do we not entertain that narrative by falling for the anti-them narrative?
Bon, I say that. Look at it, know it, see it. Look what happened. Look at what happened. We can't. But you're looking at what happened from a standpoint, you want to make better. You want to do better, and
You
for better
want
to happen,
Uh-huh.
you know what needs to happen.
And you need to look at the mistakes on both sides.
Ultimately,
On both sides.
course.
Because, yes,
course.
Makgowa-
even to say that is
Yeah.
a mistake. Even to say on both sides,
yeah.
because that implies black and white.
We have to look at wrong as wrong, period.
Period.
Because now, the honest truth is that, and I think a lot of us, and a lot of scholars, historians, academics,
Fuck academics.
academics, a lot of them, baba ne problem yoguti. You know, I usually say it is bad to read one side of a book because you only know half of the story. Right? Now, yes, colonialism happened. Yes, slavery happened. Yes, all of these atrocities
And we
happened.
cannot forget it.
We can't
We
forget
cannot-
it, nor can we turn it back.
Exactly.
But we also need to understand, while those atrocities were happening, it was other black people who were selling other black people
Yeah, that narrative also
to
needs to change,
Europeans
Shaman.
as slaves.
That needs to change as well, in the sense that they were coerced, they
Uh-huh,
were co-opted.
uh-huh.
No concept of ownership. No. We don't have this concept.
There was
of
never a
ownership.
concept of owning another human
Yes,
being.
we don't have this concept
Mhm.
whatsoever, right? When the gold trade was happening, they found they were exchanging in gold, my brother. Not people. Hence,
And for many years, there were no racial lines.
born, it's a construct. So, I'm not black. I am green. I am all black, but I am green.
Yeah.
Rather, because Ayukama says that whatever what would happen if you were to remove, this word black from you, Grand Sharp?
It's
And
a question I asked recently
Mra,
in a recent episode. Ngati, if this black and white thing could be removed, what would we be left with?
Getting off the right. This is what we need to be doing. As Dadema Figa Kuala says, getting off the right. Because we've been taken for a ride.
Yeah.
We have been taken for a ride, my brother.
And
Forget
we are
about
paying
it.
for it.
Bona. And a khona ntwe porang tshwana gore motho o a tseba gantle gore o wrong. O wrong.
Just listen.
A batla go tla go tafoleng chama. Wa tlhaloganya?
First
Bona.
time.
Born, of course. No. The poet is here, my brother. Of course. The poet shall expose it, shall bring it to light. Because in the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. In that, my brother, there's something wrong in this place, baby, South Africa. Honestly, there's something fundamentally wrong. I want to.
In our thinking, in our feeling, in our acting, in our being.
In our being. Completely, because being implies your actions, your working. My man, to walk together is to work together. To work together is to build together. Right? But how can we build when we have no foundation, no ground, no tools,
no plan
to use to build? Not even a plan. I mean, really. Kimang matala or pedagogy of the oppressor. We can't come into the struggle and come out. We're gonna expect to come out of the struggle as victims, man. Right? I mean,
but is that not where we are?
Yo, brother. Go on. Hey, we are schizophrenic in this country, man. Like, you don't know what the fuck. I mean, really.
We went through a struggle as victims. We came out of the struggle worse victims. Because now there's no one chasing us.
Born. And yet they are. And yet it's a Cold War. It's been a Cold War since 94, brother. It's been a Cold War since 94.
It's a battle fought in boardrooms now.
The Bruder Bond, right? Now, this is where I fault the ANC to some extent, right? In that how Africa. But then again, we can't fault people that actually were never about the land in the first place, ultimately. How do we fault them? They were never about the land in the first place. And they wanted to be at the table with the master, right? Hence, the master called them, go Europe. Half a time about you default grade. I mean, actually, towards the walk in the sun, much cannot go on as before. Where are the men to match the fuse to burn? Mra. We have been saying these things. We have been here before. I want to tell you this: when the sun rose, it found us awake and wanting. We looked at God and saw our image in His eyes. We have been here before, long before the snake came to our children in the garden. Long before the snake came to our children in the garden,
we were here.
We have been here before, long before. And a check under Diop scientifically sort of puts it down.
No. It's been
Couple
proven.
Data.
In the Bible, if we're going to go according to the Christian Bible.
It's a Christian country after all.
If we're going to go according to that, Genesis happens between 6,000 and 7,000 years ago. If we're going to go according to the Ethiopian Bible, it's about 6,800 years.
Wow.
Now, if we're going
which lineage? Yeah, Ethiopian. Ethiopian. Yeah.
And then if you go according to the Codex Sinaiticus that was found in the Mount Sinai region, the Bible is about 8,000 years old.
Man, it's too,
so now,
it's young.
Even the furthest date back is younger than our most recent ancestors, Esbakhumbula ngamagama. You understand? And I'm saying Bomurolong, Bonoto, Bo. These people are thousands of years old.
Bapedi.
Yeah.
Mupedi. Khoshi
Mokgatla.
Mupedi. Khoshi Pedi, Mupedi. Khoshi. Yes, definitely. What I think it's
These people are thousands of years old. We have artifacts in South Africa. I dare to say.
and then what? And then tell me, please hold on. Let's break this down. So we have them joints, right? What's re tong sa ka se re ba tlogele ba o tshege ka bana wena o kgona go sheba ko morago wa bona ba tlogela ba sega bana wena o kgona go sheba ko
You
morago
still have the ability
wa
to look
tlhaloganya
back.
go sheba ko morago ka bana o sa shebeng ko morago ke o sa tsebeng gore o ya kae wa tlhaloganya
Okay.
and go tshela morago wa sho tshaba ko just team. This is the point of why we actually remember. This is the point of why we actually
And
are in a space of
remembering
memory.
does not mean sikhumula loku sifaka amabheshu.
No, bullshit. What are you on about? My God, there's AI today, brother. There's fucking AI now. I mean, are you telling me that you're gonna teach your child not to use AI when the whole world is in it?
Okay.
What?
Going back to who we
The
are.
traditions and the rituals. That's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. The traditions and the
And
rituals.
that now bengikhuluma nomaleka no Ntshebe la ngaphandle umthembu ngithi kubo we are misunderstanding what culture is.
Mhm.
Isiko, isintu.
Mm.
And I've tried to explain this so many times and I've always received the same response. Udakwe insango. Bakuthi insango ngiyayibhema mana ngidakwe.
Idakwa bona.
Yeah, izwa ke.
Mhm.
Bhema mina
Only
kwa
speak when zimbulele kahle
Nkosi
kahle.
yami.
Idakwa bona.
Isintu is this. Let's make it as simple as possible.
Mhm.
You know, Einstein says you cannot consider yourself intelligent if you cannot explain a concept to a 5-year-old.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Let's break down isintu for a 5-year-old. Isintu yinto eyenziwa abantu.
Bantu. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It has no
Thank
color.
you. Yes.
It has no creed.
Thank you.
It has no language.
Thank
it
you.
has no race.
Thank
It
you.
has no geographic location.
Hence, it is always evolving, always moving, always changing.
Now, isintu sihamba nani nesiko.
Yebo.
Kuyini isiko?
Mhm.
Isiko is a result of people coming together,
Yes. Putting policies together.
putting policies together
Based on their
based on a-
cultural, philosophical thing. Yeah,
Ah.
definitely. I mean, I grew up under the philosophy of art for social transformation. Now, that is my Bible. That is that's how I come to be. That is me. Waitlhaloganya. Now, I'm an extension of art for social transformation. Wayibona ntho e jwalo.
lisiko
Mhm.
le art.
Mhm. Wayibona.
And it's people who came together because of a problem they saw,
or because of a commonality.
of a commonality.
Yeah.
And they came together
Mhm.
to make this a living thing.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it became isiko.
Mhm.
Soccer, example. Kunesiko lebhola.
Mhm.
You cannot go to a soccer field ugqoke ama-slippers. Ne-game day, ne-gown, ne-pijama.
Wapeta.
Uphuza
Wapeta.
isiko.
Wapeta tjena.
Yeah.
No, taba upeta. I mean, ujisa club mfethu.
Utshisa club.
Ujisa club.
And
I mean,
who is stars? Tell
Oh,
me wena
hey.
umshaye
Kutse
mangaka.
ba le jabu pula ene ngeo jamani.
You
Ujisa
understand?
club bona, taba ujisa club nja. O ka se
Eboneni
fihle kwale ya
bona
bethu sa
ama-Cox.
apere jwalo. No, mra, o ya kwana o le
Shin pad,
Bona.
namakaus, neshoti.
Bona.
You understand?
Yes.
Because soccer
Mhm.
has isiko
Yes.
le soccer
Mhm.
based on isithethe sabantu abebedlala ibhola.
Mhm.
The people who played soccer
Mhm.
sat down and said, aye, it's wrong to kick each other. And then it became a law.
Yeah, well, look, it became a policy.
Yeah.
We can't do this, we can't do that. And then over time, by change. Now, when you look at the etymology of football, it's very interesting. It's actually very savage, rather. You know, I mean, they say we are primitive as people of Africa. Fuck. The British, they are worse.
In fact, all
If you look at
sports,
history, they
all
are
sports.
worse. ke tlhogo ya motho le kwale ke tlhogo ya motho ba rega tlhogo ya motho jo ne ba rega tlhogo ya motho. I mean, what and then how bona die ke commemorate, celebrate, celebrate. Okay, wa bona bolo e tla so, I mean, we know gore bolo e tla jwang, right? Trainee wa bona Imperial King conquer. I mean, to a certain extent, go na le conquer. I mean, we batla go ikonka le rona, you know, and it's to be conquered.
It's to be conquered.
I want and
But we are a state. You know, I've got this thing, Yoguti. If I'm on a bus,
mm,
I cannot complain about the train, right? Because I'm on the bus.
you're on a bus, brother.
The only reason
What are you doing
why
complaining about the
about the train.
Why was he puzzle pale with it? Was it training got?
You understand? Now, my issue is, as long as I'm complaining about the train, I am not yet off
You're not
the
going
train.
nowhere. Thank
I'm
you.
not feeling as a passing.
Thank you.
As long as we're gonna sit here and complain about
Mhm.
oppression, this white people, this colonialism, apartheid, this,
Bona.
when are
Bona.
we going to do something?
Bona.
It means we are still under that spell. And Mina, personally, I don't feel under that spell. I haven't felt under that spell in quite some time.
You must actually teach them that under whatever man Slara se leboge sometimes wa bona. And to a large extent tuto ke lefa la setšhaba wa e bona ntho jalo. And as such, you know, motho o tshwereng ke tlala o tlo tla ko wena wa e bona ntho eo. And you won't go out and advertise yourself, hey mina ngenyanga, hey ozan blah blah. No, it doesn't work that way, right? So
Well, we thought it didn't.
it's in the blood. The blood will lead you like, yo, money, go talk to that one there.
Yeah.
I want. And it turns out you are going through whatever you're going through. And you, by this person being there with you, I mean, what you are is what you are from beginning, man. What you have in you will manifest. Now the question is, are you conscious of it? Are you
aware?
aware
Are
of
you
it,
present?
right? Are you
Nicola
present?
Machiavelli
Wa e tlhaloganya.
talks about availability.
Born and
Are you available in your
being
own life?
disabled, if anything. Wa e bona ntho jwalo. So these kind of energies, you know, because we are all energy, brother. We are all energy. I want, and as such, we are not. We conquer with energy. Energy. Bona tlhoko a re a ratana re ba bolaishe pelo. Wa tlhaloganya, a re ratana re ba bolaishe pelo.
Uzwile ntombi?
Wa e bona?
A re ratana re ba bolaishe pelo.
I some believe. Tlar, wa e bona enege a o tlhaloganya gantle gore lerato ke eng jama.
Ah.
I want, I mean, Malcolm X puts it this way, in that the spaces between your fingers, when you put them together,
They disappear.
look, it becomes a solid thing, and you can shoot this into the sky. I want to jalo. Amandla way too. They shot it in the sky, right? And that is love, King. I want to jalo. However, love is selfish. Love is selfish, but that is the politics of the individual. I want, and we do say that we acknowledge you, individual, because you are nothing but a sea in the a river in the ocean. I want a part of a whole.
Yet another expression of who I am as well.
It's individualism that we don't agree with. We don't agree with individualism.
Yeah.
We agree with individuality.
Quality.
We let you be.
Because you are just another aspect of who I am.
An extension.
An extension of who I am.
You
are who I am.
How can an African be alien in Africa? How is that possible?
How can a human being be an alien in the world?
Bona. You know, I na ke batla go lwantsha le batho gantle na ke batla re phedisane mora cause phedisano ga e bonolo re apile tshwanetse re apile. Look my brother, we are actually at an impasse right now, right? We can go on and on, but the truth of the matter is that matter is these people who are coming across as fictitious, right? claiming to be friends when they found us friendly, right? Claiming to be our friends when they found us friendly. Actually, right? In that we need to be able to say, maybe we need to be drastic about it, I suppose, and everybody picks up a gun and says, you know what? Khantle, we stop serving you. We're gonna lock all the tabs, right? I mean, a metaphorical gun, of course, like a
Yeah.
resourceful gun,
Yeah,
not an
yeah.
actual
Not
gun.
an actual
We're not a
gun.
violent people. We're only
Nah.
violent to those who are violent
To
against us,
us.
right?
In defense.
Because we've been reactionary for too long,
For too long.
for way too long. Now, I think it would work in such a manner, ya gore, we are able to turn off the tabs, right? And be like, okay, well,
Robert Sobukwe,
you need us.
Robert Sobukwe did that, and he was considered the most dangerous political criminal
To this day.
to this day.
To this day.
Because he made people stay away from work.
To this day.
He closed all the proverbial tabs.
To this day. Malema has a, how can I put it? Has a shadow that is echoing in the pines of that. Like a shadow of a shadow
Of an echo.
of an echo.
Yeah.
I want to and it is one thing to be the echo, and there's another thing to know the echo.
Okay.
By Bona Tujala, in all honesty, because he comes across like this, and yet why Bona Tujala, are we is this why one
Is it you end up thinking that
a false prophet?
you end up thinking that this is a field, or it's a playing field for rhetoric.
Well,
It's just-
exactly.
yeah.
It's popularist. I want to in that it comes across like that. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but it comes across like that, right? In that when Ntate Sebukwe phela ba bua ka riding and ka stay away, chairman. I'm a man, right? Before
My pass.
my brother, we cannot continue to exist as if Sharpeville never happened. Whatever name you want to call it, Sharpeville did happen, Mudimu. Human rights or not, Sharpeville happened. The people in Sharpeville still see their blood, that river of blood running down all the way Kuala. Whatever name you want to call it, whatever, and it's too much celebration. Why don't call born? Sharpeville Day or Sharpeville that whole month. Switch off the lights. At least from a spiritual point of view, in our souls, we are hurt.
Yeah.
We need to heal ultimately, right? And what do they say?
We suppress
Hurt
hurt
people hurt
others.
hurt others. Now I'm a hurt man, so so the one who's hurt wears the hat. Whatever, but this thing you're writing, moya o kareng o, like the flower of a broken smile, right? The spirit of a broken, like the person of a broken spirit, ultimately, because how much of our spirits are broken? How much of our under siege?
Yeah, this
Hope.
reaction comes from
Even our hope
stems from that. Yeah.
is under siege, right? Now, when you come to the truth of the matter, is this unique space that nobody else in the world actually has. To be honest with you, this very unique space. I mean, the settlers settled even in the stone, my brother. Do you understand? They settled even in the stone, so much so they call themselves, by the place they settled in, they are Africans, by God. But what makes you African? What is African? What does it mean to be African? I cannot be expected to speak English every second time a white person comes to talk to me. No, because even our other brothers and sisters who come from across the borders, across these man-made borders, rather, on the continent, automatically what was so to learn. And it tells us, no, Mzala was Wolof. I thought, uncle, I bought, okay, sharp. So English, so go on. The bell thing, the bell. If I can sing into the president just wrote the damn thing, the bill, right? Yeah. I get tlhaloganya kgante ya bell, and it lwantsha ke maburu. And I would talk about, hey, it's the first time since 94 when Buddhists actually marched the streets. And what's about and I'm like, is this nation facing itself? Or is this a nation defaced, debased, ultimately? I want to
Erased while still in
that's
existence.
born, that is wanting to find itself erased ultimately, because my man, Ukasiri, who what's apartheid was so terrible, so it's such a crime against the soul of humanity. I want to such an extent that Ikasiri in 30 years, yeah, o ka re ka khutlela kwa apartheid, ngwa tsa magwana ka busa, blah blah blah. And this is what
Our
these people
people say.
want. This is exactly
Our people say that.
this is, look, my brother, and I'm like, I cannot entertain taba e ya gore o ka re ka khutlela ko riding so. No, please, emaganyana. 30 years is too little, it's too small. 30
And
years.
first of all, you must remember, Nalabantu Laba in these 30 years who are in power are people who were displaced,
Completely,
decultured, de-selfed,
colonized,
defaced. They were colonized.
completely,
So,
and hurt,
and
they
very
are
hurt.
traumatized.
Exactly. So the people right now, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but the people in leadership positions right now are patients of post-traumatic disorder.
Completely.
Labantu kumele baye psychiatric
Hey, my
hospital
brother.
bayothola impilo. Because now,
From the first president.
look at who konje ubani lo Burkina Faso. Ubani? Tore.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. One thing in Kimang, wa Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tori, yeah, Mzana.
Ubafo.
Uh-huh.
He's a young man. And he's using his anger and his fed upness with the French in his country. But this is the beautiful thing about Tore. Instead of fighting residues of French colonialism, he is actually pushing Bekinia culture. So now, instead of, for years, they did this, no, he's saying, out. I was watching a news reel, is on. No, 2 days back. But even civil servants, your police, your lawyers, your nurses, doctors by law, no more importations of fabrics.
He's gone back to Sankara. He's gone back to the Sankara
Right?
law.
We are going to use material fabricated locally.
Oh, brother, look, it used to be called the Delta Volta until the man called Thomas Sankara then went in there and said, we are the land of the upright men. Burkina Faso. So,
We are proud.
actually.
Yeah.
Now, when you understand that mentality, and when you look at what happened, right? History teaches us a lot of things, man. Like, these things have happened in history. These things are there. They have happened in history. I mean, it was the church to begin with that actually instigated this whole slave ship rubbish. In the name of Jesus, we shall actually enslave you, my child. In the name of Jesus, we shall let you be poor. And poverty, poverty is
going to bring you closer to God.
In as much as it's a state of mind, it's also a tangible thing that you can smell, you can touch, you can see, and it's not nice. It is definitely not nice, especially when you know that the people that have caused this condition of yours still live with you, as opposed to them that want to actually impose everything. Because my friendship and yet they are not even
inside.
they are,
By the majority.
They are not even it's not a settler colony, right? South Africa is a settler colony, my brother. To a large extent, South Africa remains to be the strongest hold of Europe, the last hold of Europe. Anybody who's
because everyone else in the world
can come here. And you know what? When you look at South Africa from the sky, you get to understand what the fight is about. You get to understand what that Sebukwe, when he lifted up the soil, dropped it to the ground. Why? When you look at this country from the sky, you get to understand exactly why these white people
Want to be here.
did not want to go back to them dromedary ships and actually Khanate, again, Khanate, I want, and they thought we are gonna run them out. Rona, I don't want to buy man. I want, however, though, to refuse to look at to refuse to come to the table and still want to be a country. This is impossible. It is not going to happen. My brother, I'm not a war monger, but war is coming. I don't like war. I don't want war. War is old men talking and young men dying.
Yeah.
I don't want war, man. I give a thing to a man. I want. However, Bophelo ke ntwa, Nkgono wa ka tells me, Bophelo ke ntwa ngwanaka. War zone in the mirror. Self is the enemy.
Let's start with that war. The war that we fight in our mirrors. The war, the battles that we have with the enemies we call ourselves. I think that's where the biggest battle
Completely
has to start. Because after we win that war or lose that war, that can determine if any
the
other war
greatest
comes.
of men is he who conquers himself.
Because
I
if we
cannot
fail
find.
there, we are going to fail to colonize a country.
So it's ibe umang.
Because
Introspection.
if we don't do that, we are thrice lost.
Bona. Mra. What's about Thomas Lincoln says that once you familiarize yourself with the chains of bondage, you prepare your limbs to wear them. Once you familiarize yourself with the chains of bondage, you prepare your limbs to wear them. Now ask yourself, how long have we familiarized ourselves with these chains of bondage?
That we wake up voluntarily every day to
Wearing
put
them,
on.
and we are happy in wearing these chains, right? Now, when you know that these are chains, I mean, look, this is what happened to Socrates. When you read the thing here, Plato, right? And it's funny that we're actually going to go to these Europeans because we know so much of them, right? And yet there's nothing of us they know. They only take from the top and leave the rest.
The rest.
Pythagoras, my foot. Really? I mean, my defunct foot on top of that too. So I mean,
Oh, Pilar.
and then
Yeah.
I want, and then we have to celebrate and praise this dude. Look, when Rhodes found cities inside of mountains, what did he do? What was the first thing that man do? First thing was, you know what? Like he went through that process of decolonization in his mind himself. It was a violent phenomenon for him to
We must
realize that
understand.
he is not he's not advanced as he thought he was.
He was.
His people are not advanced as he thought
We
he
must
was.
understand that there was a point in time where, and this is going to sound crazy, there was a point in time where the best universities in England were in South Africa.
The southern region of this continent, yeah, definitely.
And I'm saying this without making a mistake. There was a point in time where the best universities of England were in South Africa. I'll tell you why. Who sponsored the building of all the universities in Europe? England specifically. Cecil John Rhodes.
And where is he buried?
Oh,
Where is he buried?
where is the university that bears his name?
In the resistance.
Where are the
resistance.
universities that studied the most ancient artifacts of this landmass called Earth? One of them is right here down the road, Witwatersrand.
Across the bridge.
Across the bridge,
Yeah.
just here down the
A
road.
bridge that runs over train tracks, not river, but train tracks. It's an interesting concept that.
South African universities are one of the only universities in the world that actually own real estate.
Even the students too are actually
Exactly.
the
I'll
real
show
estate.
you this. You can do your own research. Don't believe me. Harvard University is on Oppenheimer land.
Mm.
Ngalo kithi Oppenheimer man biza lama Oppenheimer wale America. Abo Rockefeller, Rothschild.
Yeah.
It's on private family land. In South Africa, the university, which is Cecil John Rhodes Trust, owns vast
Yo, man,
pieces of real estate.
It's a trust. It's a British trust.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a trust. Commonwealth.
This is why I say the best universities of England are here in South Africa. And it's been like that.
It is like that.
Until
It is like that.
Until your pen and my paper.
My brother. Wait. Bona. I mean, right,
Yeah.
honestly. And unfortunately, but
Okay.
so
The greatest enemy for black man's liberation is the black man who is being liberated. Mtakabang.
Not the liberals. We don't want no good for nothing Africans in this African continent. They must just go. I want boma bahambe ke bona ba khante ba tsamaya bona ba batlileng ka dikepe and ba ichaisitse pleke phela ba ichaisitse
Mistake.
It's a mistake really. Hence Ngwapele Madingwana Ngwapele says they claimed to be friends when they found us friendly. In Africa my beginning, in Africa my ending. Azania, here I come in tatters. For how long must this happen? Continue, really. Bona, Jaman, the private sector is happening right now. And Oppenheimer is still happening. And
Oppenheimer inherited from Cecil John Rhodes.
Bona. Bon. Mara, however, the Africa Pelatone and we cannot continue to be complaining and complacent. Complaining and complacently so too. Ultimately, on your marks, get set. Before you go, okay, so black, white, Indian, Chinese, in all honesty, as long as you are in line with our principles, as long as you are in line with our philosophies,
Buthu.
Supremacy. Buthu, supremacy.
No white supremacy.
No white supremacy, no black supremacy. Buthu, supremacy. Itomara.
Na i-campaign. Ngikunika wena-ke uzokwenza ama-poster. I-campaign le mthembu. Buthu, supremacy. Sizohlala phansi and we are going to write the principles of Buthu supremacy.
We're going to remind you the principles, right?
Yeah.
Because you know them.
You know them. They are there.
Them well.
Manaka.
Mugone.
Wamanaka.
Silo Samanzi.
Wamanaka.
Marena.
Wamanaka.
Chobela.
Wamshati. Mukoni. Kiditebo.
When 7/ Babylon come crash, my king. Sin.
Kiditebo. Kimi bioho. Yeah. Relebogile ho menahane.
Fire.
Sibonge kakhulu. And off camera sizoxoxa. Ngishilo ngathi angifuni namadoda yazwe lento soyixoxa. But I think they're going to like what I'm planning for you. But we did promise you extra content and extra things and angakakhohlwa. Nginiplanele something nizobona. Nimtshela uAndile nje noMaleka bangangixoshi. Ngibonile abanye bathi ayale uyasikhathaza manje mreplaceeni.
Hayisi politiki kitaba.
Hey. Okusalayo ngisaniplanela okuhle kuyeza and ngizosebenza nalensizwa le. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. We're going to work with a few other people We'll just kancane put it together. But I want you to be part of a project esizoyenza, right? And this project is a look into the solutions that are necessary to move forward.
Mhm. As a
Sizoyibiza
nation, as a country, as a people.
as a people.
Mhm.
And ngifuna if possible Mthembu siqale singamadoda kuphela.
Mhm.
Kube yimbizo
Mhm.
yamadoda. Angizwa Dlamini, if possible. If not, no mama bangeza ke. Ngoba noma ningaba amadoda kuphela abami omama bazobe khona. Ayangixosha abafazi bami ngenxa yenu.
Isilo samandla ke ke isilo di mana ke.
Ngifuna bakwethu sixoxe indaba yokuthi where to from here? Rithebe.
Mhm. Le bomme le bona bana le lekgotla la bona ba
Ayithebe.
Eh.
Nathi siyithebe.
Re itshebe, tla.
Masiqeda ukuyitheba risebane.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mm.
Ihlangane lento, and then we come out of that with answers to certain questions that we will set down.
Mhm.
And these questions have to be existential, have to be pragmatic, have to be practical and solution based.
And what if after all the words, the word itself does not survive?
After all the words, this is where the challenge kicks in
Mhm.
now. Who is willing to pick up the gun, proverbial gun,
Mhm.
and enter the proverbial battlefield and actually do something?
Mhm.
And by doing something, I mean by first changing your decision.
Influence change. This is the
Exactly.
role of art. This is the role of art
That's
in
it.
society. This is what I know to understand what art really is ultimately. To influence change. Art cannot change anyone. Art cannot change people. No. We are not here to change you. No.
Mm.
We are here to influence
That
change.
change.
Khandla, khandla. Fire.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Love and light.
Love and light. Love and lavender.
Siyabonga bakwethu. Give thanks.